feel like I got to dance for the music. It's like a little bit of everything. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reality Hour. I am Adam Samuel. Today, it's that time of the year. We are doing our year in recap, year in review podcast, where we will be closing the book of 2020 and throwing it into a fire where it very, very much deserves to be, both in terms of the year and also the reality competition shows. Joining me for this podcast is my co-host Eric. Eric, how you doing?
It's been a while, but I'm glad to be back. Even though we're talking about we're going to try to keep things more positive than negative today, but it's going to be really difficult because 2020. So we're going to try.
You know what? There might not be as much to say, but we can still make it fun.
Oh, it's good. This is going to be a fun podcast, but it's going to be like a garbage fire. So,
and I will say one of the best parts of 2020 was, Eric, we started this podcast. It was just the two of us. 2020 might have been rough, but it did see one very nice and amazing addition to the team. Grace is joining us here. How you doing today, Grace?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm a little tired, but winter break is coming soon. I can see the light.
There's light at the end of a tunnel, but today we are going to look back into the darkness.
But it's a very tunnel.
Yes. So, overall, before we kind of get into like Eric sent us each a list for how we're going to be discussing this, but what are your thoughts on the TV shows in general? Like, was there highs? What was, Grace, I want to start with you. What do you think was the vibe that you're coming away with looking back at these shows?
Well, see, before all this COVID crap happened, we had the best winner of the year, The Unbeatable, win AGT Champions. And then from there, it was just completely downhill. You know, the world shut down. Tyra Banks was reintroduced to the division.
I'm surprised that we're going to agree on who the best winner was this year. But yeah, I agree. The Unbeatable was the highlight of the year for as far as winners go. But yeah, basically, I would say that every subsequent show that I watched this year got worse.
Yeah.
But
I disagree actually with both of you on the best winner of the year, but we will talk about this. So
what shows did you watch that we didn't?
Well, here's how I've got this like that we're going to break it down. So the first thing we're going to do is Eric sent us a list of kind of questions of what we were going to be talking about. So he said the 5 favorite performances of the year. I'm going to veto that and say 3 best performances of the year because I don't think I can come up with 5. Are we in agreement?
Me too.
I'm going to do 5, but I'll do 2 honorable mentions and the 3 best.
So the 3 favorite performances of the year, the 3 biggest moments of the year, which I easily was able to fill out. Our 3 favorite contestants of the year. Grace knows who one of them is, I'm sure. The most robbed contestants, the best judge, the best host, the worst judge, the best show, the worst show, and the best winner. I think we should save the best show for last, honestly. That should be like the last award. Is that all right with you guys?
I kind of want to save best winner for. No, never mind.
We already talked about our best winners.
Yeah, we did. Well, so I'm the only one who has a different opinion.
Best show for last is fine.
All right, and I gotta tell you, starting off with the 5 best performances of the year, this was tough.
Well, it was tough enough for you to say that we're to be changing it to the 3 best performances of the year, not 5. So clearly, that is tough.
So, how do you guys want to do this? You want to go in a circle? You want to?
Well, I have 2 more than you guys do, so I'll do my bottom 2 first.
And then do you think there will be any like correlate? Do you think any of us will have a similar performance for a top 3?
No,
maybe.
All right, go ahead, Eric.
So my number 5, and I'm almost feel weird putting it on the list, only because AGT 2020 was so terrible that I was debating whether or not I should disqualify anyone from the show from appearing on any list labeled best. But if I'm honest with myself, and I don't hold hatred of everything about the show against the contestants that I liked, Alex Hooper's audition deserves a spot on this list. Truly a fantastic meeting. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I'll be honest, I've blocked out that season. Like, I don't even remember most.
Don't blame you. He was like the one bright spot of the season for me, basically.
I had a few others.
Grace, we didn't get to hear much of your thoughts on America's Got Talent this year. Were you a fan? What was kind of your take on the season as a whole?
There were some acts that I liked. I'm really not into comedy, so Alex Hooper probably would not have been on my list. And the only thing I remember from him is during his quarterfinal performance when he said that Tyra was a better host than Terry, and I was just like, dude, no.
That was the one. That's why that performance was not my favorite of his. His audition, where he did not say that, but said to Harry, "Remember when you used to be a comedian?" That one was on there.
And then he hosted a game show.
All right. What else you got, Eric? What's number 4 for you?
Number 4 is now here's a real surprise. Michaela Phillips from American Idol, Because I Love You.
Ooh, good pick. Yeah, it's so weird. Like the American Idol season feels like a forever ago. Like truly,
yeah, I from that season because I didn't remember it.
I didn't remember much either.
Here's the thing about it. I remember Katy Perry hated this performance, and she was wrong. This was Michaela's best performance of the competition. She was never able to connect, but on a song like this, she didn't have to connect. She just had to sing, and she can really, really sing. So that's my number 4.
Did you enjoy Michaela this season on American Idol, Grace?
I did. She wasn't my favorite, but like I said, this season of Idol was definitely bottom tier. So I had a hard time remembering anything.
Bottom tier. Well, so now we're at level playing field. We've each got our 3 picks. Grace, you want to go first? You want to tell me?
Okay, so mine are kind of weird. I have like my favorite audition, my favorite singer, and my favorite dancing performance. So I'll start with my favorite audition. And this is from a show that neither of you watched. It's from The Voice Australia, and it's Stella Perry with Always Remember Us This Way.
Ooh, I have no idea what that was, but Eric?
I did not watch everyone on The Voice Australia. I watched like one person on The Voice Australia. But Stella made the finale, right?
She did. She was Delta's finalist.
Okay. Yeah, I need to watch that. I wasn't, I was all in on what
she did sound a little bit like Lady Gaga, which I love Lady Gaga, so I wasn't bothered by that at all.
That's not a problem. Sounding like Lady Gaga's good.
No. And there are a lot of issues I have with The Voice Australia, and next year they're changing networks, so maybe those changes will not occur again. But yes, they will.
Do they still have the X Factor Australia? Was that the one with Dami Im?
That one was the one with Dami Im.
She was on Dancing with the Stars Australia this year, which I also watched, but she should stick to singing, and that is my only comment.
Yikes. Well, tell me why that was your favorite.
She really wasn't. She was like bottom of the leaderboard every week or close to it.
Tell me why that performance was your favorite, one of your favorites this year.
It was my favorite audition. It's crazy because like the thing with The Voice is they always have the most memorable auditions for me because they're actual performances. And that's like 1 point in The Voice's favor.
Well, so was X Factor back when that was a thing, but
yeah, but there was no X Factor this year. But no, I mean, she came in with this whole story about how she never felt like she was worthy and all that, and it kind of continued through the season. That was her sob story, which I'm kind of bored with these stories by this point. But then she hit the stage, and I was just like, okay, girl's got something. And then I was a little bit annoyed at first when she made the finale over, because like literally the one problem with Voice Australia this year, there was no public. They rushed it, one, and there was no public vote until the finale, so the coaches had more control than they already did. And I feel like the finale would have looked very different if the public had a say more than 1 week out of the season.
I am worried that my favorite might not have made the finale if the public had more of a say, so I'm not going to complain too much.
If it was one per team, he probably wouldn't have, but if it was the top 4 overall, I think I would have picked him and Guy's other finalists and both of Delta's finalists and then sent Boy George and Kelly's home.
Okay. We're speaking Greek to Adam right now, but we'll get it.
I heard sob story, and then from that point on, I was kind of...
It wasn't really that compelling of a sob story, though. I mean, people feeling like they're not good enough is things we hear all the freaking time.
Yes, that is the most common. That is the sob story used when you don't have an actual sob story.
There was a contestant this year that had like stage 4B cancer, and I thought he was going to win, and then Guy cut him over John in favor of Johnny.
There's like the one thing I like about sob stories is the level of memes we've been getting on Reddit, on AGT Reddit. There was one meme. It was like when you fall down the stairs and break your entire body, and then it's ... But you finally have a sob story to win America's Got Talent. It's just that is what I can.
SpongeBob. It's like I was born with glass bones and paper.
No, hit the golden buzzer.
Okay. Anyway,
Even if I don't have talent.
Adam,
You go before we go on a tangent.
All right. So I got to tell you, this is pretty hard. First off, of my 3 performances, 2 came from American Idol, 1 came from America's Got Talent. So
Nothing from Dancing with the Stars.
1. I like these more. My 3rd favorite, though, and this is really bad, is not from a contestant. It's from Katy Perry performing Daisies at the finale. I really liked it. I went back and rewatched it. Still just as good as I remembered it. And the fact that that is on my list this year should sum it up. Did any of you guys like that performance?
I liked the CG that made it look like she was on the stage. That was all I liked.
I thought it was so cool, and I love that song. It was fun.
If I knew we could pick his performances, I would have picked some Delta Goodrum performances when she was on The Voice, because I love her.
I would have, if there weren't any good guests, I would have picked James Arthur's performance on Britain's Got Talent.
I didn't watch Britain's Got Talent this year.
Don't blame you. Anyway, number 3 is Ryan E. Miller's America's Got Talent Champions Edition.
Of course.
Yeah, he was going to be on my list. You're probably surprised he wasn't higher, but I will say, oh my God, how hard did I hit him was the funniest line uttered by an America's Got Talent champion in years. And there is nothing you can say to make me change my mind on that. And I cannot wait to see and meet Ryan next year after his vaccine when he comes to DC. So,
have you seen him before?
No, because he hasn't been to DC since he was on America's Got Talent, and COVID's been a mess. So.
Oh yeah, I'm so mad I missed this. Katie Turner was going to do a concert in the local park because I've mentioned this on Twitter before. The 2 of us actually went to the same high school, so she's local, and it was like a huge deal when she was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But then the concert got canceled because she got a better opportunity, and it was like a $10 concert. I was like, oh.
No, I'm kidding. Good for her. We love Katie. Like it's great that she's doing so well. Her new music,
doing well. She signed to a label, major label. It's awesome. I'm can't wait to hear what's next for her. So anyway,
I'm rooting. Like it's so cool. Just like I know her. Like, every time I hear like people talking,
hometown visit because I would have lost my mind. And I've now been shut out of 2 with these shows.
All right. Well, Grace, I think you're up. What's your next favorite performance of the year?
This is my favorite singing performance, and shockingly, it comes from America's Got Talent.
Oh no!
What?
Okay, who?
I said, oh no!
What? Okay, it's Christina Ray when she did Hallelujah. I know I hate that song, but she sang it so well. I don't know. It was the only thing I could think of. It was either that or Danelia, so it was like flip a coin, or pick Malik Dope and screw both of them.
Of those 3, I would have picked Malik.
I love Malik. Screw it, Malik.
That's a better. That's
my favorite dance performance.
Okay.
But no, Malik was. I mean, I was in marching band for 8 years, so I'm like a total sucker for these kinds of acts. But I mean, that dude was awesome.
He was amazing. He was one. I lied when I said Alex Cooper was the only bright spot. Malik was the other one. So
there were a few others.
There are a few, but
they're
the only 2 that I can really say that if I put them on a different year and had other options, that I would still have considered voting for.
Oh yeah, like I feel like if you plucked Malik or Fang or any of the other like really good acts from this season, and put them into a season where there was talent, they'd be bottom tier.
Oh, absolutely, but
this year there was some talent, and unfortunately, we couldn't get to see it because we were overshadowed by sob stories and doom and gloom.
Yes,
and that's not what America's Got Talent should be about.
All right, is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn. Now you have 2 contestant.
This one was from America's Got Talent. It was the one performance I think I really enjoyed all season. It was Noah Epps' audition, where he was the whole marionette kind of freaky thing. I thought it was amazing, and it was the highlight of that entire season for me. And he got bussed so hard in the live shows. It was not just one bus. It was like a whole, like,
it was a fleet. It was a fleet of buses.
It was the scene in The Lion King, but instead of the deer, it's just buses. And poor Noah.
God damn it! I wish I was better at video editing so I could make that.
And they're all driven by Howie Mandel.
I know this is a long shot and none of us watch this show, but if he were to go on World of Dance next year.
My sister and mom watch that show and they can't stand the judges on that show. But anyway, that's never.
I only watched the first season and I just the problem is it's entirely pre-recorded, so there's no point in getting invested.
Okay. Agreed.
So is that a good pick? Is that a good? Okay.
That is a thumbs up worthy pick.
All right, and it's from America's Got Talent, and I think that's it for my list of America's Got Talent. One more America's Got Talent.
Wait, your number one's also America's Got Talent?
No, on like the everything.
On the other list.
Like other things that I'm going to mention America's Got Talent, and it's a positive thing.
What?
But go ahead. We'll talk about it soon. Eric, what's your next favorite?
My number 2 was Lauren Spencer Smith singing Respect. And this reminded me so much of Louisa's performance of the song on X Factor, which is a massive compliment coming from me. It is truly a shame that Lauren did not make it way further on Idol than she did. And I 100% blame the view that she had from her COVID house.
And then, me personally, I think I liked Mama Knows Best better, right? She did that.
Respect was better than Mama Knows Best.
I think that one was better. The fact that I remember it says something from this year. Like, for me, if I remember something, that means it was the highlight.
Okay. I liked both a lot, and Lauren was, in my opinion, the most robbed one of the most robbed contestants of this year. Not the most robbed, but one of them. And it's such a shame that she didn't make it forever. She was so much better than everyone in the top 5. So,
all right. What about you, Grace? What was your? Are we number 2 for you or number 1?
No, we're now at number 1.
Oh, so this is it. All right. Can I just throw out a prediction?
Believe I am the only Dancing with the Stars mentioned.
I was going to say Dancing with the Stars. I was about to say.
It is Halloween night or Villains night, excuse me. Neves Paso Doble when he did Swan Lake.
Ooh,
First perfect score of the season, very much deserved. I was hoping he'd win. I'm not surprised at all he didn't.
I will say his tweets afterwards.
Huh?
His tweets and messages afterwards. Grace sent me. There was some snark coming from Neve, and it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah. All right. In case any of you want me to elaborate, so apparently
Derek. I love that. I love that performance. I thought
Derek
it was great.
posted on Instagram that he somehow lost 2 of his 6 Mirror Ball trophies, so he got them remade. And then Neve commented that he should get them to make him one that was stolen to replace the one that was stolen from him. And people were freaking out. I took it as he was being sarcastic, but a lot of people were like, no, he's being bitter.
Come on. It's a joke.
Maybe I'm just somebody that likes to try to see the good in people, because a lot of Dancing with the Stars fans are just flat out cruel. Especially those of you on Twitter and Reddit, you know who I'm talking about, and Facebook.
All right. Well, still
number 1.
I think that's a good pick, first off, Grace. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I maybe should have put one Dancing with the Stars. But for me, my
Cyrus screwing up the results.
We'll get there.
We'll talk about that later. Oh man. So my all-time favorite performance of the season, of the year. This was hard to do, but I thought back to what was the performance that I enjoyed the most, that when I rewatched it before we went live, that I still enjoyed. And it's going to be not one that I think will be I don't think you guys will predict it. It was Burning by Sophia James in American Idol. It was the first live show. And it's the one performance that I still went back to. Yeah, live show. It was the one performance that I still went back to, and I still really liked. I remembered I liked her. I liked Julia Gargano, but for me,
I was
Sophia.
expecting Julia Gargano to be the pick, but
Yeah, I think Sophia was. It just had more. I just enjoyed it more. It wasn't the best vocal performance. It was just the song, the energy. It was just it gave me a little bit of hope for the season, even though we were going to be doing it this weird way, and I just really liked it. And yeah, that's just what I got for.
okay. So I will say that is an incorrect pick for number one. And my correct pick for number one is Johnny Manuel Before I Go from The Voice Australia.
I didn't know that. I don't know that.
The only version of The Voice I am willing to watch is the Australian version because A, Mark Burnett has nothing to do with it, and B, they have no rules and they have contestants from other shows that I've watched that I like. So basically, I will watch any contestant from another show, like X Factor or a talent or someone else who goes on The Voice Australia, and I will watch them. And Johnny Manuel, former America's Got Talent Golden Buzzer recipient,
and former Eurovision contestant.
I did not know that, but okay.
Well, he was in a group, but yeah.
Went on The Voice Australia this year, and he did not win. He made it all the way to the finale. He should have won. His coach, former Australian Idol winner and X Factor Australia judge Guy Sebastian, gave him his own song to sing, which is pretentious as hell, but I didn't care because it was done so damn well. In a really sucky year for singing competitions and life in general, this is the one performance I actually kept back and rewatched several times. It's also probably the only performance on the list this year that might have made my list 2 years ago, which is a sign of how bad things were, but also a sign of how damn good this performance actually was. So
yeah,
I didn't know he was Australian.
He's not. He has an Australian boyfriend, so he lives there now.
Again, Voice Australia, no rules.
Well, he lives there now, to be fair.
Like,
yeah, he does live there now, to be fair, but
because his boyfriend's Australian.
Yes, but still, no rules.
I looked him up while you were discussing him. I was like, I don't think he was Australian.
He's not, and he represented Bulgaria in Eurovision.
This has layers here.
I know, like that group, like I think half of them were American, the other half were Bulgarian. I don't know. Like, I mean, I love Eurovision dearly. I'm kind of upset we didn't get it this year. Although I did not know any of the contestants this year.
You're ever making an American version?
I heard about that.
With the 50
there were rumors a few years ago after Justin Timberlake performed that we were going to be part of it, even though we shouldn't be.
If we're gonna have a version for 50 states competing, and we're probably gonna end up covering that on this podcast in all likelihood.
I mean, I love Eurovision, so I wouldn't mind, and I know there are some contestants that have done Eurovision that you're familiar with from these other shows.
Unfortunately, one of them, but you know what's wrong.
I will say, can we just go like this?
What's unfortunate about Dami?
Not Dami, Jedward.
Oh yeah, Jedward's done it twice.
Is he related to Sethward? Is Sethward?
Jedward's a duo.
Maybe Sethward could.
No.
I mean, Eurovision is ridiculous, but I mean, let's see. Yeah, you got Dami. Guy's done it. One of your guys, Adam Brendan Murray, has done it.
Ooh.
Yeah, your Inchworm. Remember your Inchworm?
Before he was on X Factor, actually.
He was really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't make the final.
Wow.
And I think Louis Walsh was owning him at the time, so I guess if Louis had been there, he would not have been allowed to be on X Factor.
Can we go on a slight tangent right now to talk? Because I just remembered. Have either of you been watching The Voice this year?
No.
So what they've started to do is...
Oh, don't tell me you've been watching.
No, I've been like casually watching a few things.
Boo.
But they stopped doing iTunes recordings.
Yeah, they partnered with YouTube.
Yeah.
So that means that there's actual suspense to the show. And I was like, oh, this is good. Like I don't wake up knowing who's going home that day. I was like, this could be like a good step. And then I look at the results and I realize we're going from a top like 17 to a top 3 in 3 weeks. Like there's just
No, it's usually 4
Not
weeks.
that-
Even I who hate the voice will say they usually do better than 3 weeks. It's usually 4 or 5 weeks, which is still
Usually,
terrible, but slightly
usually
less
do
terrible.
double eliminations until I was like, ooh, one tiny step forward and about 5 steps back.
Yes.
And that is the voice. Anyway,
That is the
so
voice.
exactly. So let's talk the biggest moments of the year. So I came up with 3.
Not biggest moments of the year, favorite moments of the year. And I will say that because my favorite moment of the year is not a big moment.
All right.
You will
Who wants to go
forgotten
first?
about it.
Should I go first? Does anyone want to go first for their favorite
Go ahead.
moment?
I don't
You
even
go
have mine. So.
All right. So my favorite moment is actually, yeah, I would say my favorite number 3 is the American Idol winner. I thought, look, I wasn't the biggest fan of Just Sam during the season, but when she won, I felt like it marked something for American Idol. I felt like we took a shift. Instead of the classic winners, we had something different, and we had someone who, you know what? Like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I felt like she deserved it. And I couldn't, like, going away from that finale, I felt like this was something big. And I thought this was as rough as the season had been. I felt there was one really bright star to it. And I think it was just something that really stuck with me because it opened the door. I feel like now anyone can win American Idol. In the past, it wasn't. And I feel like this was the biggest sign of that. And that's why I would put it on my list.
God damn it, Adam! You picked something serious for this list.
Yeah. Look, it was one of the highlights for me. And when I look back, this is what one of the things I will remember.
Yes, it is absolutely a legitimate highlight, but it wasn't funny. So I didn't pick it.
Oh, you only picked funny things?
Did any of you guys pick it?
I picked one serious thing and 2 funny things.
I don't even have one. I'm trying to think of 3 things that I remember.
But seriously, like we also podcasted with Katie after that. Like I remember it was just such a moment for the show, and it was just such something I'll remember. Like, look, ABC American Idol isn't perfect, but at least something like that could happen, and it gave me a little bit of hope for the show moving forward into next season. So yeah,
at least one
I went serious
because I think all the other shows got, well, AGT had a different winner, but The Voice and Dancing with the Stars had the same winners that we always get.
All right, any of you guys want to
go
next?
Fine. My number 3 is Tyra Banks screwing up results.
No, that was my number 1. Oh God, Eric, you stole her number 1.
And you didn't even watch the show.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch the show.
Why would you do that?
I suffered through Tyra for 2 years on America's Got Talent, and I had to pick it.
But you didn't watch the show.
Fine, I'll unpick it. How about that?
No, you've already done the damage.
That's both of your number 1s?
That was my number 1.
That I could think of because I'm thinking of these right now. I'm trying to brainstorm.
Oh my God. Oh God. Okay. Well, first of all, it wasn't as funny as my number 1, but it was close.
Oh God. Well, so that was Grace's number. Grace, did you have any other
I can't think of anything right now.
Could I just say, in this podcast, in this year of podcasting, that introduction I did with Grace was my favorite moment of the year.
I was so confused, and I realized what you're doing. It's like, okay,
that is false. With Katie Turner on twice. That was
right. No, it's a tie. Like,
no, it's not a tie. That is not your favorite moment of the year.
But that was really funny. Like, just Grace.
It was really good. It could be in the top 5 favorite moments of the year, but it cannot be number 1 and number 2.
It's better than Adam's terrible singing every time I mention song spoilers.
Oh man. Well, since that's it for Grace, only just had that one. I guess the other big moment of the year. Well, this is awkward because now it's my number 2. If I'm gonna go, I would just say it was the returning contestants. Some of them on AGT Champions. I think. Look, very rough season, as every season of these shows were. But I like seeing contestants like Bars and Melody, like Jack Vigent back. Even if they kind of crashed and burned, it still felt cool to see them again. And
I like seeing Jack Vigent in particular.
Mm-hmm. He was in Australia's national final for Eurovision, but he wasn't picked.
So yeah, those were my 3 moments. Just
okay,
Sam winning.
My number 1. My number 2 was the Idol Top 20 live show, and it's more notable for what it wasn't than for what it was. When Idol had to go remote due to COVID, I was terrified that we would get judge cutaways galore, fake cheering from a fake audience, and everything else we ended up getting on America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, and other ways. But Idol did something that they pulled off a miracle. I liked the format better from home than I did last year. Not the part where we only had 4 weeks of live shows, but everything else I liked better than last year, which is a miracle. And I think that even if I'm making my ever 2 picks jokes, that one had to, that's the fact that they pulled that off is pretty damn impressive to me. I think they warrant a shout out.
It was pretty jarring to go back and watch some of those. Like I watched Francisco doing "You'll Be in My Heart," and they just like totally green screen. Like he's like in the jungle, worked. And there's like I don't know if that worked. Like in hindsight, I was like, this is really weird. Like I don't know.
You've seen the Disney night performances on Dancing with the Stars. They didn't do it this year, but like sometimes they'll have like animated characters on the screen dancing with them, and half the time it's really awkward.
Well, they did that this time for Idol. Anyway, my number 1 favorite moment of the year was Arthur Gunn's family on the American Idol finale, setting off the confetti cannons when he made the top 2, and then not understanding that he didn't win yet.
I was gonna put that on the list, but I thought I liked my other picks more. But yeah,
that was hands down my favorite moment of the year.
Was it better than Tyra Banks?
Yes, objectively, yes. It was so much better than Tyra Banks because it went on for like 2 minutes, and Ryan was being awkward and trying to interrupt and say, "Hey, then the next person in the top 2," but he couldn't get through it, and it was so perfect.
Oh dear. Oh man. Well, so that was our favorite moments of the year, but now we're talking our 3 favorite contestants of the year. And oh boy, all I can say, I got to tell you, I got my 3. 2 are from Dancing with the Stars. 1 is from American Idol. And Eric, you want to go? Who wants to go first? Well, I went first the last time. Grace, you want to go first?
All right, ladies first here. All right, so I actually have 1 from each show. So my favorite Idol contestant this year was Francisco. And not because he kind of reminds me of David Archuleta, who I also love. But no, I mean, he was kind of like slow to pick up the pace. I knew he wasn't going to win, but his live show performances were really when he wowed me the most, and I really liked him. And I didn't really like many people this year.
Of the top 5, he was my favorite. But yeah.
Get out of here, Eric. Not you, the other one.
Wait, Eric, we're gonna be coming back to that actually. So let's hold on to it. No, but on
Get out of here.
I really enjoyed
that, but I have to put it.
Speaking of, Eric, I'm going to be talking about something from that you're the only other person of the 3 of us who would get it.
He only comes on here to troll.
No, because we podcasted about a show together, and I'm going to be talking about the show during this episode. So relax.
Do I need to go back and watch that now?
Wait, so I don't even remember what Francisco. I was going to say I really liked his Teenage Dream performance. That was really the highlight of his run. Like what I remember of him, that's what stands out. I thought he was going to win, truly. Well, anyway. So, who wants to go? Eric, you want to go this time for your...
Okay, I'm going to flip a coin and land it on Ryan the Miller.
Ooh, well, that's not fair. That's obvious. That should have been... Was that number 1, or is this in
number
no
3
particular order?
I'll go in third, second, first.
Tell me why.
He is only 3rd because he was on the list last year too, so I can't put him on the list 2 years in a row. But at number 1 at least 2 years in a row, he'll be number 3 for now. Yes.
All right, good pick. My turn.
Yes.
It's Carol Baskin. I loved her. I loved her. I loved her. Loved her. She was.
I love
everything.
what she did for this show, but I did not love her.
I want her on Big Brother Celebrity Audition. I want her on. I just want her on every show. I want her on. I want her on America's Got Talent. Even if she just stands there and stares awkwardly at the camera, I would want.
Put her on Masked Singer.
Could she
You know, she could be a tiger.
that would
and
be a dead giveaway.
No, it wouldn't.
What would she be? Like
I
a
mean, I
cat?
can't think of anything else she'd be other than like a cat thing.
She'd be the skeleton.
That's pretty dark, Eric.
I know. I'm sorry.
Well, so yeah, Carol Baskin for me.
I don't know. I just don't think it's funny that we're making fun of we're enjoying someone who probably murdered somebody. So
Aren't both Celebrity Big Brother winners Dancing with the Stars alumni?
Yeah, Eric is agreeing with me in the chat. Carol Baskin for Celebrity Big Brother. Totally
You
should
also like
happen.
Lindsay Lohan's mom on that show, so
All right.
I know.
Well,
There's been rumors that apparently she wants to be on Dancing with the Stars. If she does it, I don't want to say I won't watch because I swear up and down I'm never going to watch the show again and then I end up watching. But I will literally do the same thing I did for Sean Spicer and vote for everyone except for her until she's gone.
all right. Well, Grace, you're up next, actually. Who's
All right.
your next favorite?
I'm going to go with my AGT contestant, and that is Mr. Malik Dope.
valid pick.
All right. Solid pick. I think he was a good contestant. Strong
Yeah.
performances.
I think he was more than a good contestant, but he was a great contestant. But he wasn't in my top 5 personally. But he was really good. Very valid pick.
All right. Eric, you want to go?
Okay, my number 2 is Lauren Spencer Smith. I know she was a short run, but I don't care. She was my highlight of American Idol 2020. So
The only thing I remember of her was Mama Knows Best, and that she performed it like on a lake, and I think she was Canadian, and that's pretty much all I got on Lauren Spencer Smith.
okay,
All right, my turn.
Number 1.
no, it's Grace's turn.
Number 2. I got.
Oh, you're number 2, and then my turn. Okay.
I'm gonna go with another Dancing with the Stars contestant. I really liked Justina Machado. I thought she was a fun addition to the season. Look, this was a rough year for contestants, and she was fun and she was enjoyable.
And she was on my team.
I was about to say, and she wasn't even on my draft, and I enjoyed watching her. Going back and watching her performances were just fun, and it had the energy, and I really enjoyed her performances. So look, she didn't win. She came in like 4th, I think, but she was still a bright spot for me.
I say every year Sasha's going to have his chance, and this is the 3rd time in 4 seasons he's made the finale and not won. So maybe he'll have his time. And yeah, Eric, you really didn't miss that much.
Hopefully next year. What about you, Grace? Now it's your turn. Number 1.
Surprise, absolutely nobody. And that is AJ McLean. Team pretty messed up. Team pretty messed up. I actually just committed because I was going to be him for the fantasy game if Matthew's not here watching. That I do on Twitter. It's at DWTS Showdown on Twitter. I was going to be AJ this season, and then I found out we were redoing season 29, which is now on pause, so I couldn't do it. But then next season, I'm going to do it.
I mean, of our drafts, Grace has 1 win. Eric has another win. Did I win any? I didn't win any drafts this year, did I?
No.
Wow, this is not okay. Gotta have my comeback next year. But
on the Stars, that's for sure.
On AJ McLean, look, Grace's team, he might not have been able to win, but her team managed to get to victory, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he and Cheryl are continuing the podcast they started because those two are actually friends now. And Cheryl's actually done some videos where she's revealed some Dancing with the Stars secrets and things that she is surprised about, and it makes me really want her to be a judge next season if she retires.
And Chriselle is dating Keo.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's very weird things going on that show. But
although it's even weirder, when Amber Rose was on the show, she was partnered with Max, and then after the show, she dated Val. So she dated her dance partner's brother.
Well, On that note, Eric, you're number 1 or number 2?
Number 1 is Johnny Emanuel. My favorite contestant of the year.
I can't get over that he represented Bulgaria. He was on Australia.
Well, here's the thing. It's a bad sign for this year, but 2 of my contestants that are on my free favorite list have been on other shows in previous years. So, but
Eric says that, before we move on, Adam, Eric says that you probably would have won the Big Brother one if we did it. Does that mean, Eric, you would not have picked Cody, who is a graduate of my alma mater?
I would not have picked Cody, honestly. I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have picked him. Truly. I think he would have been like very low on the list. I would have probably picked other people before him. I'm not coming to me too. Coming to me at the moment. Is it my turn? My favorite contestant of the year?
Yes.
My number 1 contestant, it's Genevieve Linkowski, of course. Went home on American Idol. Didn't even make top 40. But still,
so sad.
My favorite contestant of the year. You know, Eric, you would have, if you hadn't known I was watching the show without spoilers, so I thought she was gonna make it.
I know you did, and that's why it was so fun to break your heart.
he told me the result like after we podcasted, and I was
couldn't help myself. I was trying to save you from further humiliation on the show by getting so excited about her before she got caught.
Eric in the chat says he picked everyone who went home. I would have picked like my list would have been Keisha, Tyler, people like that. And oh God, in hindsight. But yeah, Jackie for me.
I'm not going to comment on a show I've never seen before. All I know is that Cody and I graduated from the same college. So that's another alma mater reference. And he was actually at a Temple football game while I was still a student there, and people were like rushing out to meet him. The first time he was on the show.
All right. Well, is that everyone? Did we do all? We're all.
Yeah. So we're done with favorite contestants.
Let's do our most robbed, and we'll do one each. Most, right?
Well, yes, one each.
I've got a list here.
Well, my most robbed is this year's American Idol contestants. Just all of the ones who made it to the live shows.
That's
all of them were robbed. Yeah. Even the winner, they're all robbed. They all just were. And look, it might have been a blessing that Genevieve didn't make it this season because
now she can come back and have.
Now she can come back.
If she comes back, she's probably a lot of the live shows, regardless of what she does, right?
You know, I would have said the same thing for Skylar Dixon a few years ago. Which, by the way, I recently got a new phone, and I was looking through my notes, and I found my notes that I took from the American Idol season 12 premiere that was in a movie theater that I went to before the show aired, and I have notes of Tina Torres and all these old contestants that I was like, whoa. It was weird. Talk about season 12. That was a trip. Anyway, tangent over. American Idol to contestants this year because it was still in the early COVID, so we didn't know what was going to happen. They lost a few weeks, so the season was just cut short. It was just a mess. So yeah, they are the biggest robbed people.
Had I thought of that, they would have been mine as well. But I just put Johnny Emanuel because he didn't win. So.
And he lost to an illegitimate contestant on so many levels.
Yes, that too.
The winner was an all-star, the brother of one of the coaches. Yeah.
Literally.
There's a clause.
It's like if Nick Jonas was the judge on The Voice, and someone won, not Nick, but if another coach, let's say Kelly Clarkson, won by having Joe Jonas on her team.
It would definitely happen.
Effed up.
Actually, Joe was a coach on The Voice in Australia for a year.
I know. That's why I picked that.
I didn't watch that season, though.
Anyway.
That was a weird season, too. But no, literally, there's a clause in the audition rules that says if you're related to anybody on the show, you can't audition, but they might as well have just said the all-stars are plants and the rules don't apply.
Is that really in the rule book?
I mean, not the whole clause about the All-Stars, but yeah, like there's a clause with every show that like, you know, if my third cousin was a cameraman on American Idol, I wouldn't be allowed to audition.
That is so freaking sad.
But
Anyway,
literally, like,
I mean,
brother.
Australia doesn't have a rule book. Let's face facts. They don't have a rule book.
But literally, they could have just said the All-Stars are plants and the rules don't apply, and it would have gotten the same point across.
Yep, basically.
But at least when he was on The Voice the first time, Guy was still on X Factor.
Yep.
Well, Grace, who's your most robbed contestant of the year?
Okay. See, if you had mentioned that before, I would have picked Elijah, but then it might be a blessing in disguise that he didn't make the live shows. So for that reason, oh god, this is hard. I'm gonna pick Fang.
Neat.
Fang E.
Really?
Yes.
That is also.
I mean, the fact that Kelly Clarkson, who isn't even a judge on America's Got Talent, was the only one to put him through over Double Dragon. I mean, even though I despise that woman and she is a total traitor, and I will take that to my grave, she is, and you know it.
I'm with you. I'm with you,
that
Grace.
was her one good decision this season. That and to have Delta Goodrum on her talk show.
You are both wrong. Anyway,
let's talk the best judge of the season. And I am going to say this was pretty hard until I thought for a moment, and then I was like, oh, this is really easy. And Derek Huff.
He was mine too.
I would say best judge of the season. And then as I was thinking about it more, I said, I thought to myself, I think my top three would just be the Dancing with the Stars panel. And I don't even think they're that great. I just think they're better than, like, who else would I put there? Like, before I thought of them.
I would kick out Carrie Ann and put in Delta Goodrum from The Voice Australia, but that's because I love her.
But I didn't watch those shows. And I was thinking, if I didn't have the Dancing with the Stars panel, I would put Luke Bryan and Sofia Vergara because they didn't annoy me. That was what I would have gone with. But no, the Dancing with the Stars panel, look, I don't think it's perfect.
No.
But it's better than everyone else. Who would you guys say for best judge?
I would have picked Derek too. Honestly, like, as much as I love Carrie Ann, and I mean, actually Carrie Ann got on my nerves this season. Like, she can follow Tyra out the door. And I don't know, go stay on the talk forever. But like, honestly, like Carrie Ann and Bruno have been on Dancing with the Stars since day one. Bruno's been on Strictly, so they're probably staples. But even if Len does come back, I think Derek should be allowed to stay. His feedback was very pointed. He actually, seemed to want the contestants to get better. He wasn't like trying to kiss anybody's ass. But yeah, he can definitely stay. And then J-Lo can be pissed off that he's leaving her show.
What about you, Grace? Not Grace, I'm sorry. Eric, what do you think for best judge?
Well, since I proposed the category, it's not fair for me to say none of the above. This was the one that I proposed and instantly regretted proposing it because I couldn't think of anyone. Grasping at straws, Alicia Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
Grasping at straws. And it was not an easy choice because she pissed me off several times as well. But at least she pissed me off less often than the others did.
Luke Bryan wasn't that awful.
Oh yes, he was. You rethink that statement. They were all terrible on Idol.
Well, let's talk about something positive. Best host. I'm just going to throw this out. Obviously, Brian Seacrest.
Anton Deck.
Grace, you're the tiebreaker here. Who are you going with?
I didn't watch BGT, so I can't say.
So who are you going with?
I would have picked Seacrest.
Well,
if for no other reason, because I mean, even though Terry Crews is tolerable, he's not.
Terry Crews was not in the running for this. Let's be honest. It was between Seacrest, who we all saw, and Anton Deck, who only I saw, and so.
Well, we've all seen Terry Crews and Tyra Banks host before, for better or for worse.
So we can put them together in the not good host category.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
if Tyra doesn't come back, like I don't know, like you said, you made a joke earlier about starting a GoFundMe to buy Heidi Klum some binoculars. Can we reverse that and do like a Kickstarter campaign to fund Tyra's next project to get her the hell away from Dancing with the Stars?
Oh God. Let's talk the actual worst judge. Who do you guys think? For me, it's Howie Mandel by default. Like, it's not even a question. He just his name was already there.
We've moved on from it being Simon being the worst.
He wasn't there.
You know what? I'm gonna have to reverse my statement.
Oh God.
Simon Cowell is the worst.
He wasn't even there for most of it.
Can I tell you the saddest thing? For me, it was basically almost a toss-up between the two. And I say that Howie has to be the worst, but the fact that I was even considering making Simon Cowell the worst is super impressive because I used to love Simon, and he wasn't even basically on the shows this year. So for him to be even in the running for the worst shows how far the mighty have fallen for me.
Eric in the chat, hold on. Don't leave yet if you're going to leave, because I'm going to be talking about our show in a minute. But yeah, for worst judge, Simon Cowell. What about you, Grace?
I would have given it to Carrie Ann just because she's getting on my freaking nerves. Like, I've been rewatching Dancing with the Stars since the Bobby Bones.
I don't know how bad she is, but she could not be worse than Howie and Simon. I'm sorry.
I mean, she's just... I mean, Howie I can at least deal with sometimes. Carrie Ann has just become... I feel like she can totally be bought.
And Howie can.
And on that note, let's talk... Well, we've got 3 categories left. We got best show, worst show, and best winner. Should we do worst show first?
I mean, well, this is pretty much a given. AGT season 15 is the worst show.
AGT proper.
Definitely.
AGT. I think it's my last show watching as like a... No, it is my last season watching like as a fan. Like, I think I might be relegated to casual viewing. But yeah, that's kind of...
I will watch clips, and that will be it from now on.
Not even if you're covering it on
clips, I can ignore the judges. I can ignore the host, except for all the cutaways, which will drive me insane. But other than that, I can ignore everything and just watch the talent or lack thereof.
All right, 2 categories left. Best winner, best show. Best winner we'll talk about right first, right?
Well, Eric and I already said ours.
Whose was yours?
The Unbeatable.
Well, I'm going to go with someone who I think actually is a very good winner, and neither of you are going to know about because you guys didn't watch Big Brother this season. I think Cody Calafiore was the best winner of all of these shows this season. Eric in the chat, I think you can maybe agree with me. The one person who would here. Yeah, flawless game, Big Brother, my show. I love the show. I think he had the best game. I think he dominated. You guys need to watch a season sometime, although not this season because don't watch this season. But he was really good, and he dominated, and he deserved to win. And he won unanimously, which is very, very rare. So
I kind of want to watch Tamar Braxton's season. I know Eric loves her. I loved her on Dancing with the Stars.
Have you ever watched Big Brother at all? Eric says he despises Cody. Look, I don't think he's like great either, but I think he played the best game, and I think he's the best winner of the season. Like, compare it with everyone else. I mean,
The Unbeatable or better.
Who else are you gonna put?
The Unbeatable.
I mean, okay, Sam, who would never have even made the live shows on any other season of Idol. Chris Sebastian, who is an illegitimate contestant. Brandon Leake, who I don't even want to discuss. And Caitlin Bristow, who only won because she's from The Bachelor.
What are you gonna do? Well,
I have a question. Do you want to be mean? I'm gonna put one more category on the spot before we get to wrap it up on a high note. Least favorite contestant of the year.
Oh God!
I can't do that.
I can, and it's not someone on any show we've discussed.
Well then.
Neither is mine, actually. Mine's from The Voice Australia, but yeah.
Sarah Palin, a Masked Singer.
I saw the performance.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Wendy Williams on Masked Singer.
Oh no!
Oh, that was my favorite performance of the.
No.
That
I
was pretty
loved it.
epic.
I watched
That
her.
was-
I watched her as a train wreck on Dancing with the Stars recently.
Eric, she is the greatest talent of our generation.
She's not the greatest talent of our generation, but
Eric in the
it
chat
was the
hates her, I
greatest
know
joke
that.
act I've ever seen. It was the best joke act.
It was hilarious. It was X Factor celebrity level of greatness.
Oh, it was much higher of an X Factor celebrity level. X Factor celebrity was never that funny.
It was hilarious. I watched it, and it was one of those like out of body experiences where I'm like, what am I watching?
Are you guys gonna be watching The Masked Dancer? Because I feel like that's never gonna work.
Of course not. I mean, unless it turns into a form of, unless it becomes like Wipeout, where they all just keep falling over because of that. I would watch that. I would watch that in a heartbeat.
All right.
I
Well,
can't believe that's a thing.
here we are.
Best show.
We're at the final category, the best show. Who wants to go first for the best?
I'll go.
We're picking
What do you
from
say
the
them all
strengths
at the same
here.
time, shall we?
All right, you want to do that? We'll do that, and then we'll go in a circle, like dissect it. Who wants? We'll say it all at once, and then who wants to go first explaining?
I will.
All right, so we'll go on three.
3,
3,
2,
2, 1. American
Dancing
Idol.
with the Stars.
Yeah, I said American Idol. You too, Eric?
Yep.
Yeah, as bad as it was, I think it was the best show of the year. You want to explain? I want to hear your thoughts. Why?
Because AGT Champions was it's not because Idol was the best, it's because Idol was the least worst this year. AGT Champions was something that was great once but should have never been repeated. America's Got Talent season 15 was just no. I didn't watch Dancing with the Stars. Masked Singer I did not watch because there were no contestants that I enjoyed.
They had Tom Bergeron in the spring season. I should have watched that.
He
Now
was
I missed him.
But and then what was the last thing? And The Voice Australia, I can't say the best show with any version of The Voice ever, no matter what happens. So yeah, by default, American Idol wins, and also because there's no X Factor this year. So
Fair.
I would say American Idol was my favorite show. It's because it's like going to a restaurant. Even when it's not great, it's probably still like gonna be okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that
even
is
if it's not
the
the
case.
best,
I've gotten so much food poisoning from shows like The Voice.
Well, listen. Here's why I picked American Idol. I picked it because it was a rough season, but I don't think it was the show's fault. They did everything right that they could have.
Yes,
The-
it was the
the
voters'
reason-
fault and COVID's fault.
The reason the show was truncated was because of COVID, and they had to take breaks because they did their best. I don't think, like, America's Got Talent, that show is a dumpster fire and is burning itself like from the inside. American Idol, it tried, like it failed, but at least like I could see they were trying to make it work. And I think I can appreciate that fact. I think the winner was great. And I think the contestants were fun, and I will still like American Idol even when it's not at its best. And yeah, that's what I got. I got to say, it was just still fun to watch. It was different. Like Eric said, that first live show it had life to it. It was different, and I enjoyed it. Look, I'm a sucker for the show. I still like it.
Let me take a quick side note and address what Eric wrote in the chat about Masked Singer being a great show because there's nothing about it that makes you hate it. I couldn't agree more with
Singers on it.
No, not Nicole. Nicole was the one thing about it. The one thing about it I like almost, but no. Ken Jeong, Nick Cannon, Jenny
McCarthy.
Robin Thicke. Those four together are the four worst cast members on any panel / host of any show, period. And if you could ignore them and you could ignore all the things about the Masked Singer if it don't work, like them talking over everything, it's a good show. But I can't ignore that. I try, but I can't. Sorry.
All right, Grace, explain your pick.
Okay, I picked Dancing with the Stars just because, like, there was nothing wrong with
Because
it
of
this
course you
season.
did.
No,
Well, yeah,
don't. Why are we you ganging up on Grace?
I'm not ganging up on her. I'm just saying that she loves Dancing with the Stars. That's great.
I do. But yeah, I mean, Eric pretty much summed up my feelings about AGT and AGT champions. Idol, I just couldn't remember after the season was over, and it's a shame because I used to be able to mention everything about the show, and now I can't anymore. So either I'm getting old or I just don't care about the show as much anymore.
If the show is getting forgettable, that's what happened.
American Idol.
Too.
Yeah.
I mean, at least we did, get a different type of winner, so that's a good thing. But if they could just get rid of that stinking mentor,
they never
doing good this season.
The fact
that she's going to be a Masked Singer, Grace.
Oh, I would love that.
I would just love Grace's slow realization that he's made his way onto another show, and then he wins. And he wins by like beating an iconic music legend.
Already won a show.
Okay, Eric, you have redeemed yourself in the chat by saying, "I literally only watched performances and that includes I watched panels for season 1." That is the correct way to watch Masked Singer.
Well, guys, we've made it.
America's Got Talent as well.
Yeah, really, the thing with Dancing with the Stars is, other than Tyra, the show didn't feel like any different than it was before. And that's kind of what I liked about it, because like we kind of needed something familiar in these crazy times, and we even got the same winner as last season, basically. And that said, if any ABC executives are watching the shows and you want to cast people that are on your payroll, stop casting bachelors. I know it's never going to happen, but like
now that 2 of them, we're only going to cast bachelors from now on.
But no, I say that, and at the same time, if Dancing with the Stars were on CBS, we'd get like 1,000 Big Brother and Survivor alumni, and they would try to win by playing the same game they played on that show, and it's a very different show. And Ada would be in heaven.
Oh God. Well, I gotta say, my computer's actually dying, so this was fun. I want to thank you guys both. Grace, like I said, thank you for joining podcasting with us. Eric also in the chat.
Me on a limb, basically.
You were a great co-host. I just want to say, and Eric in the chat. I just want to say, I wish we could have done more Big Brother podcasting. It was just my scheduling just was getting too overwhelmed. And
yeah, I think this is the first year that Matt has watched the show, so he doesn't really know the ins and outs.
Anyway, Eric, also, Eric, who I'm talking to here, thank you for discussing these shows with me and both of you guys. It was just such a fun year. Crappy shows, but fun conversations to podcast about. And I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox, or my website, adamsoapbox.com, and my YouTube channel where I review books. I can't believe it's been 3 years that we've been doing this. I can't even.
It will be 3
years. Time gone
as of March.
A hell on a handbasket.
Yeah, there you go. Where can we find you, Eric?
Eric_Asher on Twitter, bit.ly/EricLawVids, ericasher.com.
And Grace, what about you?
Reality2_Grace, and as a judge on Dancing with the Stars Showdown, it's at DWTS Showdown on Twitter. Matthew runs it whenever we return from our hiatus. We were redoing season 29, but that's taken a break. We're redoing season 27 next, and I cannot wait to give Bobby Bones straight ones just for being Bobby Bones.
And yeah, so what's going to be going on is the next big show we'll be talking about is American Idol. I think they're going to be filming Hollywood Week soon, so who knows if we'll get like spoilers and stuff for that. But yeah, other than that, I'm sure we'll find something to fill in the gaps. That's not until like February. But
we have a Bobby Bones book to review.
Still, there's a
we have a couple ideas we're kicking around for interim podcasts, like special episodes. Mm-hmm. So we'll keep you posted on that. Follow us on Twitter, and we'll let you know.
Yeah, and I just want to say to our viewers who watch our show, thank you. Thank you, especially this year. with these shows, if you still made it, if you're still watching, like
you're a trooper.
you are
We
a
appreciate
trooper, and we appreciate you, and I just want to say that. But yeah, guys, this was fun. Here's to a better year.
Hopefully.
I don't know if that's possible,
it.
but until then, thank you guys, and wear your seatbelt.
And your mask.
And your mask. Bye.